I'm Conor Hayback. I'm from I currently live in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm currently working at Altus Academy.
Okay, my name is Brooke Fuller, and I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Conor, so you both met on the Adult Advisory Board and you guys became friends from there. Have you been able to stay in contact all this time? Do you talk frequently outside of the Adult Advisory Board?
Occasionally.
Yeah, so like just or Facebook.
Yeah, through Facebook and text and.
And Brooke, looking back, what would you say to someone who might be interested in joining the Adult Advisory Board? What advice would you give a 17, 18-year-old teen with PWS who's interested in joining and wants to get involved?
Yeah, check it out. And it's a really good opportunity to participate. And we do a lot of good stuff for the organization. We've come up with a lot of different things. We helped with delivery systems, medications. We've done.
We put that pamphlet together.
We've done several pamphlets.
What was the most interesting project the two of you worked on together?
Trying to think back of what we've done together. I thought that the interesting thing was when we did the school pamphlet. I thought that was interesting that we did together.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was a big help for schools.
Yeah.
What did that project entail?
Gave instructions to the schools how to manage.
How to manage us during school.
Yeah, that had to be really helpful for a lot of families who used it in the future for their children with PWS as they started to enroll in schools.
And then we did a thing, we also did a pamphlet on jobs, didn't we, Conor?
Yes.
And that was good.
Yeah, we got based on our experiences in jobs and gave inspiration to others.
Yeah.
So Conor, looking back to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself as a teen with PWS?
Don't get discouraged. Work hard. You can do it. There's a bright future ahead of you. So you just hang in there. It seems like it might be a struggle, but the PWS community is a big help. So get involved, and you won't feel alone.
Do you feel the same way, Brooke?
Yeah.
What advice would you give your younger self?
You can pretty much, I guess, can do anything if you set your mind for it.
And what about looking forward to the future, Brooke? What are some things that you're excited about for the PWS community as we look towards the future?
Towards the future? I guess maybe more alternative living situations for people. I guess that's the biggest thing.
How about you, Conor? What are you looking forward to for the future? What does it hold for people with PWS like yourself?
Um, oh, it's a challenge in Illinois because we don't not that much support, but yeah, I mean, I get more states more aware and systems. Yeah, be a lot more activities out there to help us.
And what about you both personally? Where do you see yourselves in 10 years from now? What does your personal futures hold? Brooke, do you want to go first?
Something. So hopefully I'm still doing that in 10 years.
I think you froze a little bit. Do you mind repeating it for us, Brooke?
Yeah, hopefully still working with the job that I have, another organization that provides services. I'm a peer mentor with some folks out in the community. I do activities and bring them out in the community. So that's fun. So hopefully I'm still doing that.
And how about you, Conor? Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Hope I'm still involved with the school, helping inner city kids get to good schools. Hope I still doing that.
And Conor, speaking of the school, you teach chess there.
Yes.
And you're very involved and you have a bachelor's degree. Can you talk a little bit about that and share about your experience and what it was like going to college?
It was a struggle, but I don't think I would have done it without my father with me. So he was a big supporter in that. I did try going away for about a year and a half, lived on campus. That But first year it went fine, but then just went kind of downhill after that. So I moved home and took some time off school, and I went to a city college, which and that was able. My dad was able to come with me, so I was able to finish my education college in 8 years.
That's awesome. And Brooke, what was your school experience like? Elementary school all the way through your most recent educational experience?
Well, went to elementary school, that was okay. Then went to high school, and then I went to Forest Hills, and I was part of the paved the way for disability people to go to space camp. So we paved the way for other kids to do that. So that was a fun experience. And then I got a 2-year college degree through Davenport for accounting.
That's great.
Yeah. So
I think it's really inspiring that both of you were able to complete college at some level and use it in ways as well. Conor, you are working at a school, and Brooke, everything that you're doing as well. I think that it's fantastic. And you both said, and Brooke, for you especially, that you hope that you're still going to be doing the work that you're doing right now, which I think is great.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and yeah, it's fun.
Speaking of fun, Brooke, what are some hobbies that you have? What do you like to do in your free time?
I like to read, and I like to play games, and also I like to color by number, and that's pretty fun. but yeah, that's what I like to do in my spare time.
And what about you, Connor? What are some of your hobbies?
I love doing crossword puzzles, read, um, play chess, obviously. Like watching sports and hanging out and going out when I get a chance.
And since the COVID pandemic, how were you both handling that? Is it harder to go out and see the people that you normally used to see, or have you been coping with it pretty well? Connor, do you want to go first with that one?
I've been coping. It was at first it was kind of hard when we were just quarantined inside. So especially when it was nice warm outside, you couldn't. I mean, could at least go for a walk, but it was very limited. But it did give us you did have enough, spend more time with family, so it was more family times, which was nice. Not too many families get that opportunity.
And Brooke, how about you? How's the coronavirus pandemic impacted you?
Well, as for one biggest thing is um I, we were closed down for work, so I couldn't work, so I lost that connection, and it seemed to be getting harder to come up with different ideas to do daily exercise besides walking outside and doing stuff in the house. It was getting harder to come up with things to do.
So, since I have you both here and we're kind of talking, and sorry for jumping in, but I figured since I have you both, it's also a great opportunity for you to share a little bit more about your experiences with PWS. I know that a lot of our families are starting their children on growth hormone. What are have either of you taken growth hormone, first of all? And if so, what was your experience like taking growth hormone?
Well, I would have liked when I was growing up. Growth hormone wasn't that available at the time, so it would have benefited me more if I was able to, get on it in the '80s. As years went by, it was more available. So I didn't start taking growth hormone until my late teens, early adulthood. So it would have had more impact if was able to get on it when I was younger.
Brooke, did you have a similar experience with growth hormone?
Well, when I was younger, it was just too new, and there was too many side effects, and that people just didn't know about. But once I got older, I was part of the adult study that they had in Columbus. So that was good, and then it was so helpful that I stayed on it. So I'm still taking it.
That's great that even though both of you had to wait a little while to start it, it sounds like even starting later, it really benefited you. And I'm glad that that was something that you were able to do.
Yeah, it gives me more energy, and and more lean body mass. So that's what helps me. And that's pretty much
Helps me too.
That's why I'm still on it.
Yeah, if I'm not taking it, I don't have a whole lot of a whole lot of energy.
Do either of you take anything for hyperphagia?
No.
Nope.
That's great. So you're able to keep that in check just on your own? That's fantastic. Have you ever experienced hyperphagia?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
That's great. Um, Speaking of some of the symptoms of Prader-Willi syndrome, I know that a lot of people with Prader-Willi syndrome also have some, I guess what I'm thinking of is they worry that they are not going to be able to do the things that their friends are going to do. Did you ever experience that, or were you always able to do the things that your peers were doing?
Um, before, I totally understood. I went to high school, so I was like a normal teenager, out socializing. But when I got older and really understood more, I think I would have been a little laid back. But luckily, it was such a small school. It was really beneficial for me.
How about you, Brooke? What was it like for you growing up as far as hanging out with your friends in high school or middle school?
Uh, I had some friends that it was, yeah, pretty, somewhat easy. Not always, but I had some friends that I was able to um, see and get together.
And as you got older, I know some of our teens with Prader-Willi syndrome, they want to have some more privacy as they get older and they want to have some independence while they're still at home. So what advice would you give to teens who are still at home but want to have some more of that independence? What can they do to talk to their parents about that, or maybe help foster that idea with their parents that they can be a little bit more independent? Do you want to go first with that one, Brooke?
To be more independent, I guess they could talk to their parents about it and come to a happy medium, but they should be able to still do a lot of things. Still not being at home, but still with some independence.
What advice would you give, Connor, to a teen who's ready to be a little more independent and needs to have that conversation with their parents about, how they can set out on their own, maybe?
Um, I'll talk to them. Well, you want to make sure that like what your limitations are and just kind of talk and things that express your feelings and what works for you and really what really works for the family is best. Every person's different and situation's different.
Absolutely. And speaking of family, are you both very close to your family, or how has your family supported you throughout your life?
My family's been a big support.
Yeah, I have a pretty good family connection myself, but they're all scattered. The only one that I have close that lives close is my aunt, but the rest of them are all scattered across the United States and out of the country.
Well, I'm lucky to have my family still living with my parents, and now that my sister's in the same state now, so her family's here too, so it's nice. I don't have to get on a plane or fly somewhere to go see her.
Yeah, it's nice to have family around. And right now, during the pandemic, it's nice to have the technology to be able to reach out to family that might be scattered around the country, like Brooke's situation.
Mhm.
As we're getting close to a half-hour mark, I just wanted to see if there was anything that you wanted to share with each other. If this was your last conversation, Brooke, was there anything you'd want to say to Connor? And Connor, would there be anything that you would want to say to Brooke?
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything either.
Your relationship is solid. You're like, nope, nothing to say. We're good. That's awesome. And is there anything that for both of you, as we're talking about, Thanksgiving's coming up, the holidays are coming up, what are some things that you are just looking forward to in the new year? What are some things that you're excited and grateful for that you just want to share with everybody?
It's always
Family
good.
and my
Yeah.
family and friends.
Yeah, family and friends.